Welcome to the CFG Gamecast Episode number 34, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on Saturdays, and we release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. So show us some love and go and follow us on any podcast service like that. Give us a thumbs up, review, what have you. That helps us a long way. I am Mr. CFG himself, Davis Green, and with me are my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex, all nice and ready to be talking about some stuff today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's Saturday, just hanging out. I'm excited. It's going to be a good day, guys.
Good deal. It's funny, Lex. It's like just literally like yesterday. Same thing I always have to deal with you. It's like, oh, hey, Lex is streaming. It's streaming Thursday night or Friday night. No, I'm sorry, it was Thursday night. Lex started streaming. Yeah, and then it's like waking up 8 o'clock. It's like get a nice cup of coffee and go eat some breakfast before working out. And sure enough, Lex, you're still at it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So like the final tally, how long did you stream? It had to have been like 12 hours or so.
Yeah, 12 and a half hours.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember I was getting ready for work and I was like, oh, snap, you're still up? Let's go.
I can't help it.
It is crazy.
Once a month, there's a night where I can't sleep regardless. And that happened to be, and I know when it happens, but I realized the next day, I was like, oh, that's why I was just so wired and ready to play for, more than 12 hours. I could have kept going, I forced myself to lay down and close my eyes.
You were getting yourself. It was like, I think when it was all said and done, it was like 9 o'clock my time. So it had to have been on almost 10. So it was probably 8 for you before you decided to call it a night. That's crazy. Yeah. Well, that's dedication, and I admire that.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. And on the third seat, I got from the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing great, my friend. Another busy, productive week, but it was good. We launched from work where I work at. We launched a podcast, LAN Parties, which is also a video gaming and esports podcast. So that was awesome. We had a good launch. Learned a lot. Definitely want to improve and continue doing things. But this is going to give us access and resources, that haven't been there before, and being able to dive down, especially out here in Las Vegas, and be able to create something like this. This is it's an amazing opportunity. Looking forward to it. Definitely want to do some cross promoting on both for the CFG Gamecast as well as LAN Parties. So you know what I mean. Like I'm excited. It's a great opportunity. So other than that, just staying busy. We streamed last night. Had fun playing Overwatch with people. Got some Destiny 2 in here Thursday as well. So it was a good week. I feel like I'm getting back on track. Last week we were not able to stream. We were having all kinds of technical difficulties. So for me, it was just important, getting this stuff squared away, and glad that we are back on track.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, definitely, man. And especially over for me on our side too. Excuse me, on our side here on CFG side. So it's been pretty crazy. Today I literally passed out before the podcast because like I literally felt like my mom had like some issues with her. Like the ceiling of the garage collapsed on her, and then like she wasn't under it, thank goodness.
Oh no!
So I was like I was surveying the damage, and I'm like, what the heck happened? Like, how did this even happen in the first place? So I was like looking around for all of that to make sure everything was straight, to see what was going on. So after I went back to my house back home. I was about to take a shower, and I just decided to just lay down in the bed and just never got back up. But then also I was actually following up with some of the CES articles that I needed to do. That I updated the website at the CFG.net, shameless plug, and we just decided to go. So updated some of that, as well as going to be doing one more article about CES with Mad Cats. So definitely looking forward to that one, and just been on the regular grind from the most part. So definitely, hopefully it's going to be more smoother here. And also, I didn't even know that, like I said earlier this week, that I did not know that our show was on iHeartRadio.
Oh, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I was like, how the heck did that even happen? It's like I don't even have the RSS feed on it. So that's cool. So we are now on iHeartRadio. Awesome. Yeah, because I know. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I appreciate that. Whatever black magic happened with that, but we'll just go deal with this. Let's get on with the show. We got places to go, people to see, and we'll get on it right now.
Things to do.
Things and stuff to do. Yes. So each of us picks a new topic of discussion within video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be something that's video game related, or something that's just in the video game world. So definitely check it out. We pick one thing and then we discuss. But we also don't want to be the only part of the discussion. We want you, the viewer, to also be a part of it on our chat on Twitch. So definitely, if you have a question about what we're talking about, or if you have a good point to raise, please do not hesitate to put something in, and we will definitely add the question as part of our podcast stream and discuss. So let's get down to it. Lex, what do you have to bring to the table?
Well, in a surprise turn of events, you will no longer be watching your favorite Overwatch League on Twitch. No, you will not. Though Twitch dominated 61% of the market, that's going to change. So if you don't know, Twitch is Amazon, YouTube is Google. Just to kind of clarify things, if you're not aware of how the gambit kind of works. Overwatch was solely doing all of their leagues through Twitch, which basically was the YouTube of live streaming for a long time, is kind of what they deemed it. If you don't know what's going on with YouTube, there's a lot going on in that area as well as of late. And they have now picked up a multi-year contract with Overwatch League. So not just 1 year, but a multi-year contract. They're not saying for how long. The 2020 season opening weekend, the home match is New York and Dallas, and that'll be on February 8th. So if you're wanting to watch, that's where you'll see it. But not only that, we also have Call of Duty, League of Legends, and a few others as well, and they're all exclusive. So there's no kind of sharing the platforms. And I know Facebook Gaming, as of late, has definitely amped up theirs. We've seen a lot of big players and partners move from Twitch to Facebook Gaming solely, which I'll be honest, I was a little skeptical. I kind of laughed when I saw people were leaving, because I'm like, Facebook, are you kidding me?
Well, yeah. Facebook has been on fire though as of late, so I can't really blame them on
they
it.
have commercials too. Like they're doing something. They're about to do something big. I don't know what quite that is, but I'm gonna hold out on that topic, so y'all can't steal that one. It's mine, okay? But yeah, Twitch is losing to YouTube. I mean, so if you don't know, Amazon bought Twitch for $970 million in 2014. And again, it was seen as the YouTube of video games, the only live streaming site for gamers in the West, basically. It controlled 61% of the market, and now that's going to completely change. Mixer, Facebook gaming, YouTube gaming, everything is going to be changing in the realm of how things are going to work. Esports is also moving solely over to YouTube, is what it looks like too. So I'm curious as to what this is going to mean for Twitch in the long run. I mean, even the other games, Call of Duty, like their tournaments weren't even bringing in as much as Overwatch was, or League of Legends in at all. I mean, that was still bringing in millions of viewers, right? So in the retrospect, in the realm of things, so to speak, how does that play out for Twitch if they're going to lose their contracts? I mean, what happens next? And for the consumer, this only means good things. Let's be honest. If you are on the website as a streamer, as a viewer, competitive markets are only good for you in the long run, right? Because that gives you a better service on all aspects, because they want to make the consumer happy, whether you are, again, part of the streamer or the viewer. But now I'm kind of wondering, like, is that it for Twitch? I hope not.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit too much.
Next?
Well, I mean, like, first off, it is a gigantic blow on Twitch's side, because, well, I'm not really familiar with this, so don't get me a quote. Don't quote me on this, but the exclusive rights of like the Overwatch leagues and all the other the big tournament leagues and stuff, League of Legends, was specifically on Twitch, because by default Twitch was the bigger was the only way to get it. So, and I'm assuming it was pennies to the dollar. It was just common sense to put it on Twitch, because it wasn't expensive for them to just to broadcast it out, and then 24 hours later to broadcast it on YouTube, which were the smaller firms. But then when they started, I mean, really the beginning of this year, when they decided to do all these crazy changes of all the, like with the new streamers and stuff like that, to be switching ships to different platforms, Mixer, Facebook Gaming, and YouTube, they were also including like that just basically opened a window of opportunity for a smaller streamer to purchase the broadcasting rights. So so like in a way, it's like there's things that when YouTube has an infinite amount of money to do that, just as much as like how Mixer does, but it's going to definitely bring new life source to the brand of YouTube, for people that are wanting to watch these tournaments and stuff like that. So, like you said, I think this is what's going to further competition, which is exactly a great thing. You don't want to have one thing to be ruling it all and making that gap come in a little bit smaller. So I think we will be seeing a giant influx of numbers going over to the YouTube side, and see how good everything is going to be on the broadcasting and stuff. So so I mean, I think it's definitely a good change, and see if there's something out there that's going to be closer, that's going to close the gap with Twitch themselves, you know.
Well, and I'd like to bring up this point. So before Smitty talks, I'm so sorry. For content creators on YouTube, I know right now they're having a lot of issues. They can't advertise on their videos. It's either getting demonetized because it's not necessarily adult content, but it's not appropriate for kids, so they're not getting advertisements. So they're having those issues. And if for broadcasting, it's going to be easier for them, but for the individual content creators, it's definitely still going to be Twitch based, because that's where you're going to, you know what I mean, be able to make some sort of an income regardless, because YouTube is still kind of stuck in that limbo right now, I feel like. But yeah, I feel like this is such a weird move. What do you think, Smitty?
So where I'm at as far as with this, I think this is fantastic, and I think it absolutely makes sense. I think one of the strongest things in favor for YouTube is that they have an algorithm for searchability, discoverability built into that platform, whereas Twitch does not. Not only that, but they also have the backing of Google, which is what? The largest search engine. What's the second largest? YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, tell me that's not like that. That says a lot. And I think people see that, and they already have a huge base of people that are using this. So now it's just taking that, and they're able to monetize it now. They figured it out. They've seen, you know what I mean? Like they've, and again, I've been in a YouTube live stream, and it definitely feels weird in there, but like, it's not the oddest thing. It sort of feels familiar. I haven't really been to I have been to a live stream. I'm sorry. I haven't been to a bunch of live streams or anything like that, but I've been to a couple. I think it is this sends waves. This should send waves to people. The fact that all the esports televised things or streamed events and whatnot and leagues are moving from Twitch over to YouTube gaming. They see something. They've obviously sold them on making that move. Even though Twitch has these numbers, you know what I mean? There's a reason that they're making this move. And we may not be able to see that right now, but there's definitely, this was a calculated move. So this is exciting to see. And, like you were saying, Davis, just having that competition is going to force everybody else to up their game and make and deliver better. So I'm all for the competition. I think this is fantastic. And yeah, Facebook gaming out of nowhere, you know what I mean? All some people are doing things and stuff.
Yep.
It is a legitimate platform to stream games and do things. So they're doing their own thing as well. So I like seeing this big pie getting sliced into smaller pieces, because it's going to force everybody to up their game to be able to contest for those eyeballs and those users and whatnot. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. So I mean, no, I mean the only way is the ceiling's going up, and that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want, because like Twitch for the longest of time has gotten too powerful as a platform in itself, and I feel that like when you I'm glad Mixer are doing the moves. I personally wasn't a big fan of the fact that they were I mean, they were doing what they can with creators, don't get me wrong, and creators is a part of the pie, I would say, but it's not going, but like to get the numbers that I'm assuming that Mixer is trying to do to increase everything else is that you're needing to do to not rely on just influencers and stuff. So
Right.
so what YouTube is hopefully doing to that branch, because I mean, like Smitty was saying, I've seen the YouTube live stream before too, and it is a different experience than what it is on Twitch. Like you can't, like the chat doesn't seem like it's as interactive as it should be alone. You can't respond back towards emotes and stuff like that inside YouTube gaming and stuff. I mean, there's the small things like that is a little bit of is a little bit here and there, but it will eventually morph into something more stable, something more fun for the person to be like, to be interactive about it, but like I just think that like that when YouTube decides to pull that stuff, especially like League of Legends and Overwatch and stuff, those are like the two most popular tournaments period for online gaming. So like that, and by default should theoretically should increase them quite substantially than where they're at right now. Because so like I am hoping that it does get that it's good for them. That I hope it's definitely a very calculated move, that I don't think it just came out of anywhere. So, but I guess we just have to wait and see if it's something that they're going to try to, if Twitch is going to try to respond something back, to compete with what they lost. But we'll see. We'll definitely see.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's for sure.
Oh, big time. So that was a good topic, Lex.
Thank you.
Yes. So,
Do your best.
yes, you do your best. Nice. So that's cool. So here's, so it's going to be my topic now. Let's see what General Davis said here. Sony and Microsoft will be having games. Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft will be having games to go across platform. I know Microsoft and Nintendo are doing that right now. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, like with Sony, I mean, so the third wheel on that's always Sony. So Sony has these weird things. Nintendo and Microsoft, they've been doing it for a bit, so that's no problem. It's just Sony's always been weird on trying to share some of their stuff. But anyways, my topic is about Blizzard, and this week Blizzard just released the remaster of of one of their most popular game RTSs that came out in the early 2000s, which was Warcraft 3. So now Warcraft 3 Reforged. So everyone was hyped about this. Well, it wasn't, RTSs, real-time strategies, are not like, as big as they once were, but people who knew what Warcraft 3 and how important Warcraft 3 was for that genre was going to get this game. And so they got the game, people played it, and they hated it because there's so many things, so many working parts that happened with it I was so surprised with it. And it's funny because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to pay $40 for a remastered game on the for an RTS that I've already played a long time ago. I didn't really care to that point. So like what actually got me into this and made me think about this topic was my friend who was all in, because he was a hardcore Blizzard fan when all this was coming out. So so like what happened was that, okay, so Warcraft 3 Reforged was supposed to be the remaster of Warcraft 3. They promised back in 2008, the 2008 BlizzCon, they promised that that they were going to be doing that they were going to be adding new story elements, new things and stuff like that inside it to kind of give you a good experience and stuff. So when they did this, they showed the video. They showed the video thing. So the first video I sent you, Smitty, was the video of the side by side of the story mode that they were showing, that they showed at BlizzCon, and what we got on the right for Warcraft 3 Reforged. And that should be like a minute and something long. So what happened here was that on the left, you see like the graphics. It's all good. It's all updated. It's all ridiculous. It was really nice. This is what they showed us at BlizzCon, and then what they gave us was the stuff that they gave us to the right, which was basically a outside shot. There was no cinematic shots of the videos of what they did. What they did instead, they gave you a text bar at the bottom and stuff like that. So this is like some of the small stuff, and then the game itself is essentially the game that came out back in 2002. So all they did was a reskin of the characters to kind of up the look of it, but they didn't change any aspects of the game like at all. Like they just basically put a slap of touch up paint and then just re-released it. And you know how much this game costs? $30. It's $30 plus on top of that the collector's edition was $40 for the same game. So people were pissed. What's the name of the review site? Metacritic user scores are down, have gotten it down to a .8 on the Metacritic score, which I don't count I don't count that as a real score, because the vast amount of trolls and stuff that's out on the internet and stuff is probably pushing it down, because now it's to a point where people are just going to add low scores to add low scores. But the official score of this from the big outlets was a 60. So barely, so that's not even good either, exactly for the game. So here's the most annoying. Here's some of the more annoying parts of this. So Blizzard also says that if any maps that you create inside this game, you can is property to Blizzard themselves directly. So you cannot share the maps that you to other people, because technically that's the intellectual rights now to Blizzard, which I understand why they're doing that, because technically Warcraft 3 was the incubator that became Dota, the first Dota. So Dota was made from Warcraft 3. Oh. Yeah, so
really?
Yeah. I
did not know that.
Oh yeah. That's how it all started. Was Warcraft 3. Yeah. Dota 1 was originally the original source code of the original Dota came from Warcraft 3, and then that's how it was initially. Then they made their own source code eventually. But they sued and everything. It was getting pretty bad. So they still remember that. So. So they definitely said, okay, so if you make anything in this game, it's ours, and if it's anything that's going to go through any kind of copyright, like let's say you make a DBZ stage or something, then they're going to delete it immediately, because they don't want to get through copyrights infringements and stuff like that. So so they did that. So in a way, I was like, so you can't share your custom stages. So what's the point of making custom stages? Like at that point, right? Yeah, I know, right? So then
you can enjoy it.
Yeah, I can enjoy it, but it's an RTS. You're supposed to fight other people. That's the point of it.
Yeah.
So but then the number 2 thing, which was really weird to me too, is that if you originally have the original Warcraft 3. And you bought Warcraft 3 Reforged, it's going to delete your original Warcraft 3 completely, and it's going to take Reforged in its place under BattleNet. So unless you have the disc version of Warcraft 3, then you won't be able to play it. You will play the original of how it was supposed to be, in other words. So I was like, this is insane, like for that. And so I was like, you know what, okay, whatever. So I mean, but like you can only get the disc versions of Warcraft. I don't know if you can get there was a downloadable Steam version of it ever, so it's all good. But the thing that really gets me is that I feel that this is illegal for them to do, is that they were not accepting refunds for people that were not satisfied of the game. Like, people day one did not expect they wanted their money back because it wasn't as advertised on what they were promised to BlizzCon 2 years ago, as well as they shouldn't be, because like as you could see in the first video, it is clearly a night and day difference of what they showed for the same story. Because I had to double take the video just to see what's the problem with it, then realize, oh, this is the same story. This is the same story plot than what they showed us. It's like, what the heck is this? So they shut down refunds for this game. So they did not, and anyone who showed the process of that showed them that there was a way to get around to get your money back for the game was banned off of BattleNet. So so I was like, are you kidding me? Like, Blizzard is doing this kind of crap. Like, Blizzard, they're
doing it to themselves.
This is not good. And I was just like, man, so 4 months ago when they did this stuff of like saying, oh, we want to be better, we want to be like, you know, the good guys to their own story towards all of this. It's like when they were saying that they were going to be more caring of the gamers and stuff. It's like, I mean, to no surprise that they totally decided to go 180 on this thing and say like, nope, like we are all about profit and stuff like that. This is really disheartening for me, because I love the old school Blizzard. I grew up with it, and when I hear stuff like this, it doesn't seem like they've learned a lesson. It's just like, what is going on? Like you gave us a shoddy product that you promised that this is going to be something that was going to be nice to do, to come back on, and you made it garbage. I mean, it's not like, you basically just turned a piece of crap into like a piece of golden crap, and you decided to resell it again. You know, it's so amazing to me that they're doing this. So I just wanted to get y'all's takes on what you thought, like what you think of like what's up with that.
Wow. I mean, so I grew up like you said, I grew up playing Diablo. I would have my PC and I had a little wagon. I kid you not. And I would put my desktop in my wagon, and every day I would take it to my buddy Greg's house during the summer. Bless you. Mm-hmm. And we would plug in, and we would freaking LAN party, man. And we would play Diablo. And that's what I did all summer long. And it was the best thing ever. I remember Warcraft. I didn't get to play it. It feels like they literally just went with gold dust and covered poop. You're right. That's terrible. Mm-hmm. And I will play devil's advocate for a split second. Maybe they've turned off the no refunds because they do want people to stick it out. And maybe, you know, you have to get a little further into it to see where things have changed. I'm not sure about that. I could be absolutely wrong. Again, I haven't played it. I wouldn't know. Maybe they're wanting people to really take a chance on it. And then if they still don't like it, then they'll refund them. But it's bad. It looks bad, man.
Yeah,
I mean, that looks bad on them either way. If they're going to stop, have they put out anything as far as like a statement or?
Nope, not yet. The game came out just this week, so I mean, until people.
Oh, I know.
I just say people just need to keep on trucking on what their complaints are about this, because like when they do something like this, they need to definitely show the people's they need to show the dissatisfaction on it. I mean, not like being like a crazy do anything crazy like that, but yeah, if they do, the only reason why I could see them do what they're doing with shutting it off is there is a flood of refunds coming back for it, and there may be you might be right. I think that they could easily shut it down, say, hey, let's give it 7 days and see where it's going to go, and if people are still trying and stuff, it's like they're going to have to get the refunds back on some of this, because this is insane. Overall.
let me make sure that I'm understanding this correctly.
Hmm?
So originally they showed a trailer that was a different game essentially for this remake, right?
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, yeah,
Or like,
yeah,
or
yeah. I mean,
Sort of.
because
Yeah.
and then when it just comes out or whatever, and we find out that it is the exact same game as the original, everything like tooth and nail, as we can see from these comparisons, is just they new graphics, and that is why people are upset, correct?
Well, yeah, but I think it's like a matter of
Do they not know?
no. Well, see,
Or-
and that's what it's funny. That's what I was thinking too, because Warcraft 3 Reforged was at BlizzCon the last two. Last year, last BlizzCon on 2019, and I was kind of wondering that too. I don't know. I don't know what they showed at that BlizzCon, and maybe it was something. It was a different build or something like that. But the fact that they were saying that they told the public that they were showing that they were putting at ease these videos, they've said to the public that they are going to make the videos look nicer, and like they showed the beginning of the game, but it was but the way the cinematics was, it was it was to show the public that they are actually taking good time to it. It's kind of like, can you imagine if Final Fantasy VII Remake shows you the videos that they've been showing us, and then they go back, then when you buy the game, it's still the same thing.
I
would
be so upset.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, that is super deceptive.
Yeah, that's
super deceptive. Not only that, but I always have an issue with when they say no, you can't get a refund. It's like, I don't feel that any, you know what I mean? Like, if somebody doesn't want something, or they said this is not what I expected, I don't feel that they should be able to hold your money. You know what I mean? And be like, well, just give it a little bit. It's like, no, dude, I don't feel that. Maybe I'll try again later when I feel like things settle down. But like, who are you to tell me, nah, give me my money back? I don't want this product. This is not what I thought it was going to be.
right.
So I always have an issue with that, and companies kind of bogarting your money that you've sent them, and you didn't get what you expected.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's Blizzard, man. You would think that they would have learned. Like, who are these clowns up there that are making these dumb decisions they are so, like, it shows how disconnected they really are with their fan base, and really what you're saying, about it being just about profitability and the ducats and pleasing, whatever, dude. Like,
yeah.
it's sad to see, man, how much, like, when corporations and things like that start getting, very corporate,
Yeah.
it changes it changes the whole company. And I don't think they realize, especially within video gaming communities, how much that means to people, and how if you turn off your fan base like that, dude, that could end you. That could end the company. None of that stuff matters anymore, because these people are like, I no longer support you guys.
Yeah.
It's sad to see that. It's really sad to see that.
And I think that's what it is, though, because I think the thing is that people, the reason why this game probably got a lot of money by default is because of the name Blizzard. Because, I mean, Blizzard doesn't make bad games. They haven't made bad. I mean, they messed up with Diablo 3 a little bit at the beginning, but they fixed it up, and it actually
don't get me started.
Yeah. I mean, like with the auction houses and stuff, but overall in the long run, it isn't a bad game. Like, now, if you play it again, it is not a bad game. Yeah. So, like, because they were listening to the feedback of the people, and then that's how it always has been. And, like, I mean, but for the most part, they haven't made duds. They haven't made a dud in a long time. And right. so when a company that's on that's striking the iron when the iron's hot consistently, that's saying, hey, we're going to be re-releasing this game. And we're going to be doing this, and this. People are going to listen to you because you have a good record. You have a really good record of pleasing the public. So just by default, and that's why kind of one of the reasons why I never really reserve games anymore, is because I don't know what to expect until I mess around with it myself. But Yeah, so like the whole thing is just that people got this because of the of this reputation. People got it because of the nostalgia of Warcraft 3, of how good that game was, and then so by default they hit twice on this with people right there. So I feel that now when you come back, and then when you come back and you've screwed this up, it took them 2 years to do this. To fix this thing. So like you're like, oh okay, cool. So it's been a long time for them to finally get it coming, you know. And they were doing some small mini promotions. It's just like a perfect storm of all of that. And that's the most unfortunate thing, is that like now it's like, to me, when I see this stuff and I hear this stuff, and then, you know, what we were talking about last year with the with Hong Kong, or freeing Hong Kong with Blizzard and stuff,
right,
and things like that, it just makes me not want to get another Blizzard game for a while. Even Diablo 4, I was really tempted on with Diablo 4 when this stuff is, because I was like, I really hope this game is going to be good. And but man, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know now if that's how they're going to treat their public, if that's how they're going to treat their gamers and stuff that's going to buy that buys all their stuff. And then I don't know. I can definitely live without it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oosh.
I think that's how you hurt them, but it has to be a collective move, and they don't learn their lesson because there's enough people that always get their games that they're still making profit. So they're like, all right, we're good to go. You know what I mean? And that's where, you know, if people made a collective push as far as with that and really made them feel that, then I think you may see a change. But again, this also starts from the top within the company, in that company dynamic. Are they publicly traded? Like, do they have like a board of directors?
They're owned by Activision. So like
Activision, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, they definitely have a board of directors and stuff. But I mean, I know the original co-founder left last year, so that's another thing too. Right. That kind of like, oh, okay, so they have a new CEO. Who knows what their structure is? But I don't know. It just does. It feels like it's more for profit than for gamers, and that's what it's mostly sad about, you know.
Yeah, I just, man, like, and again, it wasn't a game I played, but for instance, you know, I played Path of Exile, and again, I'm not playing this season. I know, guys. I know. I was really excited for it.
Oh, you're not playing this season? What? Really?
I'm not. Monster Hunter got thrown into my Steam account. I can only play one game at a time.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
For 12 hours a day. But the people who made Path worked for Blizzard. They left. You know, they were on the Diablo team. And, you know, it just kind of shows that. And their whole reasoning, if I'm not mistaken, was they left because they felt that the whole vision behind what Diablo was and what they wanted it to become was just so against the grain of what the community wanted. And they're like, you know what, if this is how it's going to be and they're not going to listen to the community, then we're just going to split off and do our own thing and make something that people are going to enjoy. And you only have to pay for cosmetic stuff if you want to.
Right.
You do not have to. And, you know, we'll make it so that every season is something new and something playable and different. And I think that's an amazing thing, because when you can connect with your community that way and you can make something that, yeah, maybe this season didn't work out and maybe, you know, everyone was breaking the game in a fun way, because that's something that you like to do, is you try to break the game. You know, with maybe making a poison build, or you know, Adam, his character looks like it's the 4th of July every time he gets into a fight. I have no idea what's happening, but it looks fantastic. You know, and it's a fun thing, and you kind of enjoy that, like, camaraderie between you and your friends and the battles and the storylines. But again, if you're not connecting with your community, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Because no one's going to purchase your game anymore. Yeah. You're going to lose the trust of your community, which that's a huge thing nowadays. You know, we work hard for our money and we don't get a lot for it anymore. And so when I purchase something, I'm purchasing something for the long term. I don't want to play it and be done with it, right? Yeah. I don't want to put in 10 hours and be like, well, I beat it, the end. You know, I want to be able to do it over and over. And that's what's great about Blizzard games. But if they're going this route, that makes me wonder, what's Overwatch 2 going to be like then? You know, or what's the future of other games if this is how they're treating this game?
Yeah,
you know, something to think about.
No, you're definitely right. So I guess it's definitely something that we will definitely keep an eye out and see where it's going to go. But yeah, hopefully we'll figure it out and see if they get it straight. So, all right. So we'll do the last topic here, Smitty. What do you have to bring on the table?
And this may not be well, this part is, but I didn't realize. So one thing about this is that I didn't realize that PlayStation Remote Play was available on like Android devices, iOS devices. I don't know when that happened. I don't know how I missed that.
Wow.
Apparently, apparently that is a thing. So that's good to know. However, in the rumor mill, they've been talking about, there was a Reddit post that talked about there was a leak of a survey asking people about remote play being on the Nintendo Switch. So right incredible. Now, of course, yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it. I think that'd be amazing. But within this article here, it says, blah, 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 while Sony has slowly been increasing the number of available remote play platforms over the years, there are several key features missing from the service. Remote play is pretty decent, blah, blah, blah. So I think they're starting to go down. PlayStation Remote Play on your Xbox and Switch. One thing I think that's important here is that we're seeing Sony now way more willing to work with other companies and kind of expand and open up and get out of that console war mentality mind frame. Yeah, exactly. Which is only going to benefit them. They know where the future is. They see where the future is. We see them partnering up with Microsoft because of their cloud gaming infrastructure, right? They need that. I mean, instead of putting the time and resources into trying to build out a proprietary thing, why do that when Microsoft already has the infrastructure? We're going to partner up with you guys. And it's, they're starting to open up and broaden their perspective as far as with these things, which I think is super important for this next generation. And you know what I mean? Like, even think the last 10 years or the next, not the last 10 years, the next 10 years. So within the next 10 years, right? We know that consoles typically come out on a 6-year cycle ish type of deal. You know what I mean? It'll be interesting to see once the PS5, once the Xbox comes out, that next cycle that happens after that. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a completely different thing than what we're experiencing right now, or what we're even experiencing during the next generation. We'll start seeing it like kind of transition during that next gen phase, and then we'll start seeing clearly what that future looks like. But this is exciting to me. I've been wanting, like, and I don't know any of you guys that have a Switch, just having the convenience, or if you're like out traveling or whatever, being able to have a console like that, and you're telling me I can go and like all I have to do is bring my PlayStation, and now I've got this handheld monitor with controls that I can play PlayStation games on. Yep. Absolutely. PlayStation's going everywhere with me, dude. Come on now.
Definitely.
So I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm gonna check out the iOS stuff, because I had no idea Remote Play was even available for iOS and Android. I use it to push it on stream sometimes. Is how I'll push my picture instead of using a capture card. I'll just use Remote Play.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I've always enjoyed it. I had a Vita as well, so like I was able to utilize it with the Vita too. So Remote Play is great, dude. And I'm loving seeing it expand to these other platforms and devices.
Yeah, I like Remote Play too, and I think it's remote play on the idea of saying you could play a PlayStation games on your Switch via Remote Play is so far fetched to me to even think about. Like iOS and Android, it's been doing it for a long time. Same thing for regular. You can actually do it on your PC too. So like I think it's like after you saw the stuff that was very possible with stuff like cloud gaming, like X Clouds with Microsoft X Cloud, as well as the Stadia and stuff, that it's very possible to be able to do this kind of port shifting and stuff. So but to say that Sony is wanting to play nice with Nintendo should be the bigger headline there in itself, because it's just, because I mean, for the longest of time, like they just now allowed cross-play platforming on their system just last year, a year before the end of their PS4's transition stage to the PS5. It's like when the 4 is about to wrap up, then they finally do it, and it's like, this is ridiculous. So like so PlayStation has always been about not playing. I've always been known of not playing well with others, and especially when they're wanting to share technology itself to a different platform. But now, since things are starting to get to that point where we're melding, where we're wanting to say we want to play with people that are playing on PlayStation or on a different system and still want to play with them, instead of them getting your system, like we need to do it. I mean, the call is now larger than your systems. So but I just love the fact that they're saying that like, can you imagine playing like Horizon Zero Dawn on your Switch, remote play on your console, on the Switch from portable? Like, all you need is just an internet connection. It's freaking awesome. I mean, I think this is a good move for Sony to see where they're going to go with that, because like, the thing that Sony has always done right is their proprietary IPs. Like, I love that. I love that they have so many different diverse kinds of games within Sony themselves, and just to do that, to still keep the Sony name on a platform like Nintendo, if it's true, would be pretty cool,
Right.
Man, I didn't know you could do it on your phone. I'm a little mad that's now I'm just finding that out. That's a little obnoxious. That would have helped me a lot during my healing from brain surgery days. Thankfully, my dad got me a giant TV because he knew I would be stuck in my bed for a long time. Thanks, Dad. You're the best. You're the real MVP, dude. But yeah. No, that's awesome. And I've discussed this so many times with friends that Sony doesn't like to play well with others, and now I think they're finally realizing, after all these years, since everyone's been saying it from the get-go, like, you're not doing yourself anything but a disservice by not going cross-platform. You know what I mean? And I think in the long run, that's only going to benefit, again, them and the consumer, because now people don't feel like they have to pick and choose over which console. If the game's on both Xbox and PlayStation, well, you already got the PlayStation, my buddy's got an Xbox, bada bing, bada boom, we can play together. And I think, again, that's great. And I feel like they were just narrowing the market. And when it comes to that, like, sometimes you can really just piss someone off, and they're so stubborn that they never want to go back to that console because of something like that. And I understand why those people come from that space, that headspace, so to speak. But I've always kind of been a PlayStation gal myself. I like the way that the controller feels, the way it handles. I've got arthritis in my hands and other places, and so it's just always been easier for me to play with the PlayStation console. But I in high school I played Halo, and that was all Xbox for us.
Right.
And back then it didn't bother me to play with those controllers. They were also very different back then. Now they're tiny. But again, I don't know. I've always been a Sony gal. I'm happy that they're going cross-platform. That makes me happy.
Let's not get it twisted, though. Sony isn't doing this out of the kindness of their heart.
Oh,
absolutely.
They are doing it out of necessity.
Yeah.
Right.
If they could keep it all proprietary, I have no doubt that they would keep it all proprietary.
Oh,
but they're
100%.
being forced to open up based out of necessity. And where gaming is going future.
Yeah, how it's
or in the future. Sorry,
you're right. Though how things are going, they have to adapt. They have to change. It's still to be number one on top. Like I said, I believe that it's going to depend on how forthcoming Sony's going to be for the next gen. is like, because that's the big thing. They have their studios already prepped and set for the upcoming games for the next gen, how it is and stuff, and how things are slowly transitioning for the better between, like, this nice melting pot. But if you're not gonna, but if you see, but if you just look on the outside of the optics on the outside, it's like, hey, Microsoft, PC, and Nintendo are all playing well together, but Sony's the odd man out, and then they're still kind of have that barrier between the lines of it. It's like people are going to be turned off into playing. I mean, hence, like, Fortnite dropped because of all on Nintendo or on PlayStation's stances between the other systems and stuff like that, especially when it was crossplay for all three. Rocket League was the same kind of way too. It's like, because when they tried to stick to their guns on it and then they saw those numbers going down, it's like, okay, yeah, we need to go in the change of the time, because they're doing it because of, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're a corporation, they're doing it for the money, and then all that matters is, like, how much money is going to be coming in, is going to come into it. But but like it's always been, the best way to hurt a company is to not give them your money, and then it must have been to a point where they have to adapt. They're like, they're not in a dire need to adapt, but they have to if they want to be strong and competing for the next gen consoles. So, yeah. So no, I mean, I think it's really awesome that they're doing it. I mean, if it is done. So, I mean, the question is, like, so this guy didn't mod it or anything. This was a Sony approved app or something that they did that was doing that in your video, Smitty.
Yeah, that's a remote play.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so I'm gonna download it on my phone after this just to check it out, because I had no idea that it was even available for phones. So I'm gonna be testing it out to make sure that it's legit. But that would be freaking amazing, dude! Like, being able to take that. You see it?
Yeah, PS4 remote play, free.
Oh, okay. Yep. So there you
go.
Right there.
So definitely try that.
And I have an Apple phone.
Didn't know. Yeah. It's also available for Android and possibly Switch in the future.
So Smitty can be playing. Exciting, dude. So Smitty can be playing Death Stranding on his phone.
That's right. Yes, I can take some time.
Yes.
Legs numb.
What you doing in there?
Just imagine that.
I can't get up. My legs so sweet.
I can't feel my legs.
I'm gonna crawl.
I'll just crawl. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then
oh man.
So we'll close the podcast up here. But that's cool, guys. Thank you for watching episode number 34 of the CFG Gamecast. We will definitely be back next week on Saturday. We're gonna Saturday around the same, well, not around the same time. I say a little later than normal. I have some stuff to do after this. So so Lex, what do you want to promote? What do you have coming up this week?
Well, we of course, Monster Hunter Monday, Spoopy Tuesday. I think going forward, JTZ and I are teaming up on Tuesdays and possibly Thursdays here on out for this year, is what it seems like. So on Tuesday, it's Spoopy Tuesday. We're gonna play some DBD. I think we are going to finish up Outlast. I thought we were gonna do it last week. We got close. Someone had said that once I did X, Y, and Z, which I did, that I only had like 20 minutes left, and that apparently was not correct. But yeah, Outlast and DBD on Tuesday. Wednesday is up in the air. But after we get off, I'm gonna be playing some Monster Hunter and maybe some Risk of Rain.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, it's weird. I thought you were a mod on here, but we'll look into that.
I thought I was too.
Yeah, bells and whistles.
No idea, dude. I swore I was.
Bells and whistles. We'll figure it out. It's still too new.
It says I'm a mod. Oh, here, hold on. I got it.
Smitty, what do you watch? What are you going to be doing this week?
So this week, again, we'll be releasing LAN Parties podcast that'll release on Wednesday. Game wise, I'll probably get down on some Destiny 2. I've got my nephew's birthday that I'm going to here after the podcast. And then probably just play some games tonight, hang out with friends, hang out in streams and stuff like that. Hopefully get on some Kakarot, work some more on some Kakarot, and then I don't know, I'd like to get going on some Monster Hunter as well. So we'll see how it goes. Monster Hunter on PC on PS. It's gonna be
Monster Hunter on PS4 though. It's gonna be Monster Hunter on PS4,
no,
right?
What do you mean? On PS4?
Yeah.
I have it for both.
Oh yeah, so you have it on PC? Okay.
I was thinking, there's a lot of people that are playing it on PC now too.
Most of your friends. Yeah.
You gonna play with
do
me?
both.
What?
I could do, yeah.
Oh no. I mean, no, play it on PC because clearly, like,
I mean,
Lex is the beast of it. of
I know
all
AJ plays too. Midnight Victoria plays. Smitty Tails. Doc. I don't know if Dust does.
He does. I'm trying to get him caught up. I got Doc almost to the end of the story, so he's almost done. He's got like a maybe 2-hour push. We've got him done. Yeah. So I mean, he's ready to start Ice.
If I played a PC, I would probably have to play it on. I would play it on this channel so we can actually up the amount of hours that we play on this channel. Yeah. But yeah,
well, I thought about that too. It's like at some point in time we'd have to stream more to this channel, even to like there's a certain amount of time that you have to. We can't do it so one day.
Yeah, we could definitely have that set, but we'll figure it out. Also, guys, just to let you know, excuse me, just to let you know, we're going to CFG Games. I'm going to be playing. I thought I was going to be streaming last week, but I wasn't able to. I was too busy. But I'm going to definitely be streaming this week with some more Monster Hunter tomorrow. It's going to be we usually play a Monster Hunter on Sundays, and Indivisible last stream. Hopefully, I want to just do a full rundown of just Indivisible, just see if I can finish this sucker finally, and just go on and get ready for the next game. I don't know what my next game will be. I want to say Star Wars, but I don't know. But
I need to finish that. That's good though. That game is good. But Tash made a great suggestion. All three of us playing Monster Hunter World at the same time.
Yeah, but I would have to buy. I don't want to pay the money to pay for the PC. I don't have the PC version.
Had it.
No,
I see. I won it on a Twitter giveaway.
Oh yeah.
I'm endgame on PlayStation 4, so I could immediately turn around and go into Iceborne.
Oh yeah,
I'm only level 15. You got her way ahead of me.
Smitty's like,
don't laugh at me.
$20 and I'll get you to endgame, boy.
Yeah, he was already.
Wait, $20?
Yeah.
What do you mean $20?
You want
a friend discount?
You want to do that stuff for free? You crazy?
Oh no, I'm not. No, I couldn't do that. I mean, if you guys want to be my friend and play sometime, I can get down with the get down. But
we'll figure it out.
I don't have a dog in the fight.
We'll figure it out. But yeah,
you're not playing it then.
I don't want I really don't want to pay nah, I won't get I mean if Monster Hunter's a good price online for PC, maybe. But but still, it's so hard for me to focus in that game.
Hold on, let me correct the record. It was General Davis that said that. It was not Tash.
Oh, it was Tash.
My bad, General.
Oh, Tash.
My bad, General. That's a great idea.
To play at the same time. We'll figure it out. We'll see. Maybe one day.
That could be a thing.
Like I said, well, next time we'll probably, if we do it, I'll probably stream on CFG Gamecast. We'll figure it out. Y'all need to get that multiplayer solitaire going. Yeah, whatever.
I'll whoop y'all's ass.
So guys, thank you so much for stopping by on CFG Gamecast episode number 34. Be sure to give us a like on our on each of our Twitch pages or follow us on our Twitch pages, and or if you like the podcast, definitely support it by just giving us a like, follow on any podcast services. It will do a great help for us. So definitely check us out. We'll be back here next week, 5 p.m. Pacific, normal time, and we'll definitely see you all around. So this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing off. Y'all have a great weekend. Jeez, I just went halfway there. I couldn't help myself.